Welcome back to the WrestleChat Podcast. What's going on? I'm the AntMan. Flying solo this week. Michael is off. That means it's just me and you chatting. I'm excited about this, though. I'm excited to hear what you think about this weekend's PLE Backlash. So leave your comments on each of these matches in the comments section here on YouTube if you're watching. If you are listening on the free iHeartRadio app or on Spotify, drop me a comment on our Instagram. It's at WrestleChat Podcast there on Instagram. We've got 5 matches lined up for the first post-WrestleMania 41 PLE, and let me tell you, they're packing some serious heat and some huge, huge stakes. Up first, we got a big one. It is the U.S. title match between Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Now, this fatal four-way is shaping up to be a real barn burner, a doozy. LA Knight was the U.S. champion heading into WrestleMania 41, but he lost the title in a shocking moment when Jacob Fatu snagged that belt. I'll say a shocking moment. I think a lot of us thought, okay, Jacob Fatu's got a lot of momentum. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves WrestleMania 41 with that championship, and that is exactly what happened. The loss left a lot of people wondering, though, what's next for LA Knight? Most would assume he'd get a rematch, right? A one-on-one rematch. But instead of a one-on-one shot, he's thrown into this multi-man match with 2 other guys, Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. They both think they're next in line for the U.S. title. And you could feel LA Knight's frustration, no doubt, after losing his title in such a big match. I mean, WrestleMania 41. It's the biggest you can get. The guy feels like, he shouldn't have to fight 2 other challengers just to get a shot at that title once again. And honestly, I totally get where he's coming from. It's hard not to feel for him when he's just trying to, get back to where he was before WrestleMania. Now, on the flip side, Jacob Fatu is coming into this match with a ton of momentum. Not just this match. I mean, he went into WrestleMania 41 with a ton of momentum, but then to add the U.S. title to the mix, it's even more heading into Backlash. He just captured that U.S. title, and it feels like he is on the rise, and no doubt he is. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see bigger things for Jacob Fatu down the road. A future world or WWE championship run in his future. That's not out of the question. This is just the beginning for Jacob, and I think that the U.S. title is the first step in his climb to his inevitable greatness. All the fans, they're backing Jacob Fatu as well, and so is the company. So I really can't see the title slipping away from Jacob anytime soon. Fatu's a beast, and a fatal 4-way match, that's only going to help solidify his place there at the top. But now let me ask you a question. What about LA Knight? I mean, you talk about momentum. This guy's had it. What's this multi-man match going to do for that momentum? Honestly, it's a bit of a tricky spot. I mean, he's not getting his one-on-one rematch. When the champ loses, the next match is supposed to be a rematch, and it was always a thing back in the day of it being in the contract. You get the first shot at getting that title back. And instead, LA Knight is fighting for his chance in a match that kind of feels more like a roadblock. I mean, if LA Knight doesn't come out on top here, I want to know where that kind of leaves him in the company. He's built his whole persona on that no-nonsense, brash attitude, very stone-cold Steve Austin-like. But, this match could be a real test to see if he can maintain that momentum, even without the title around his waist. Now, one thing's for sure, LA's not the type to back down from a fight, and this match is going to show us what's next for him, for better or for worse. Now, let's talk about the 2 other guys. We've got Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. They're both bringing a little drama. Actually, they're bringing a lot of drama to this match. These 2 have personal history that goes beyond the title picture, and honestly, their tension could end up being a highlight of this match, or it could be a distraction too. It's kind of weird to see, why they're even in this match. Both of them feel like they're kind of just there. It was kind of like these 2 have a feud, and they're being stuck into this fight for the title between LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. But regardless of how they ended up there, this fatal 4-way U.S. title match at Backlash this Saturday, shaping up to be unpredictable and just a heck of a roller coaster ride. Now, if I had to guess, I think Jacob Fatu walks away still holding onto that U.S. title. I'd love to know what you think. Jacob Fatu, will he retain, or will we see a new champion in either LA Knight, Damian Priest, or Drew McIntyre? We'll find out on Saturday. Now, next up, we've got what might be one of the most personal and heated matches, I think, of the night. This is Gunther versus Pat McAfee. This one's been brewing for a little while, and it's definitely a match to watch. It all started when Gunther attacked Michael Cole on the Raw after WrestleMania 41. Why did Gunther do that? It all stemmed from a comment that Michael Cole made about Gunther tapping out to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. That ended up costing Gunther the world title, of course. And Gunther, being Gunther, didn't just sit back and let it all slide. He took action and abused Michael Cole. But that's when Pat McAfee said, nah, not going to do that to the GOAT. And he jumped in. That attack wasn't just random. Gunther took it a step further and left Pat McAfee actually unconscious, choking him out there at ringside, which obviously kicked this whole thing into high gear. And let's be real, Pat McAfee's not the type to just roll over and take it. No. He came back with a vengeance and an incredible promo. Pat didn't just come to Cole's rescue that night, but he also cut a fiery promo the next Monday, making it clear that Gunther was going to pay. He's going to pay for what he did to Michael Cole. With SmackDown GM Nick Aldis stepping in to make this match actually official, he was filling in that night. McAfee made sure everyone knew that no one messes with the GOAT, Michael Cole. I mean, that guy's been the voice of so many matches and so many memories. This is about more than just defending a colleague. It's a battle for pride and respect. And I think we're going to see that in this match. The crowd, absolutely electric when they made that announcement, and Pat's words set the tone for the most personal matchup of the night. Now, Pat McAfee's no slouch when it comes to getting into the ring. You know, we've seen him throw down before, even at WrestleMania. And he's proven time and time again that he's more than capable of hanging with some of the best in the business. But let's be honest. This is Gunther. We're talking about Gunther, an absolute machine. This guy's been dominant as the Intercontinental Champion. As a matter of fact, he's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. And his raw power, his submission game, his intensity, it makes him one of the most dangerous guys in WWE right now. Gunther's not someone that you want to underestimate. And I certainly hope that Pat McAfee's emotions aren't causing him to underestimate Gunther. As much as I love Pat, his energy and his charisma, this match feels like Gunther's. It's Gunther's to lose. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Pat's going to put up a heck of a fight. But I'm expecting, and I'm betting maybe you do too, that Gunther is going to get a win here in this match, probably locking in a brutal submission to make Pat tap out. I think that's how the whole thing ends. You tell me if I'm on the right track or if you have a different opinion. I would love to hear it. Drop a comment if you're watching right now on YouTube, or hit me up on Instagram. It's at WrestleChat Podcast. Hey, I want to tell you that you could win Netflix for an entire year. Not only are we here on YouTube, if this is where you're watching right now, but we're also on, well, everywhere you can listen. So if you prefer listening to the podcast, that's awesome. Do me a favor. Download the free iHeartRadio app. Don't have to pay for it. Just download it. If you already have it, great. If that's where you're listening, even better. All you got to do is search WrestleChat Podcast in there, and then you'll see two things to check mark. One of them is follow. If you're not following us yet, click that one. And then the most important one here is preset. Click that preset button. Adds us to the preset that you see on the homepage of the iHeartRadio app. Next thing to do is take a screenshot and then jump over to WrestleChatPodcast.com, upload that screenshot, and you could get 52 weeks of WWE Raw with your 1-year subscription to Netflix. Jump over there and find out all the details at WrestleChatPodcast.com. It'll walk you through how to do it, and it'll let you upload. Also give you some rules and stuff there as well, okay? So jump over to WrestleChatPodcast.com. It'll walk you through the whole thing, and you could end up with Netflix for an entire year on us. All right, get a swallow here. Get back to this. Penta versus Dirty Dom, our next match. This one for the Intercontinental Title. This one's got all the ingredients for a classic showdown. I have loved Penta being an addition to WWE. Penta had his eyes on that IC title well before WrestleMania, and though he didn't win it in that chaotic fatal four-way match at WrestleMania 41, he's not given up on this goal. And I think we will see that strap around Penta's waist at some point. Now, is it going to be this weekend at Backlash? I don't know. Let's go over some of this. This time he's getting his one-on-one shot. The WrestleMania match, a fatal four-way, this being a one-on-one shot. At least that's what it looks like on the surface. And I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek here because although Dirty Dom's got the Judgment Day always backing him up. So I wonder how that's going to come into play at Backlash. And we know that Dom thrives when his stablemates are in his corner. I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? Penta's got an ace up his sleeve, though. His brother, Rey Fenix. He is now in WWE. We saw him make his debut for WrestleMania against El Grande Americano. I just got to remember my drink from Starbucks, and I remember his name. I mean, that could actually, Phoenix being here could be the game changer in this match because you've got all this turmoil going on the outside, or maybe some interference headed its way into the match. If it's up to Dirty Dom, of course he's going to do that. But maybe Rey could be there to help ward some of that off. Let's see. Penta's hungry for this gold, and with Rey potentially having his back. Now, they haven't said anything about that. We just kind of see them starting to have some interactions, but it could turn things at least back to even, maybe. Dirty Dom might have the Judgment Day, but Penta's got the Lucha Brothers. And that's a force that will be reckoned with at some point. Now, will it be this weekend? We'll have to wait and see. This match could end up being a total game changer for both guys. With Dom, will Dom hold on to his title, or will Penta finally grab the gold that he's been after? With interference from both sides likely, don't be surprised if we see some shocking moments in this one. If you're just asking me straight up, who's going to walk away with the title? I don't think Dirty Dom's title reign is going to end that quickly, just 3 weeks. So I think by hook or by crook, I believe is the phrase, Dirty Dom goes home and delivers that IC title back to his girl, Liv. All right, moving on. We're talking about the Intercontinental title. Now we're going to move over to the women's Intercontinental title. And let's look at that. Lyra Valkyria set to face Becky Lynch. Things got personal between these two when Becky replaced an injured Bayley at WrestleMania. She teamed up with Lyra, and they won the women's tag team titles on the grandest stage of them all. But that celebration, it didn't last very long. Just one night later, they lost those titles, and that's when things took a turn. See, Becky turned on Lyra, and the feud has been red hot ever since. I actually really like it. And I thought, being this quick, I might not. This one's been a quick build, yes, but it's been packed with intense moments. This past Monday, things got really personal. That's when Becky called Bayley garbage and Lyra nothing more than recycling. She said, "You should thank me for taking out garbage." What do you do when someone takes out the garbage? You thank them. You don't boo them. You also ask them to take out the recycling, and that's what I did with Lyra. Well, Lyra didn't take that lightly and fired back, calling Becky the real recycling for always using the same tired talking points and the same tired moves and the same tired ideas. Now, that exchange shows just how personal that this feud's become. Lyra's not just a great wrestler. She's also got some serious mic skills, as we saw on Monday. That might be the most I've seen her talk since moving up to the main roster, and I love it. She did a great job. And she's not afraid to go toe-to-toe with one of the best in the business. Becky's known for her arrogance and her history with recycling old gimmicks, as Lyra says, but that's just fueling Lyra's desire to prove herself as a legitimate champion, and she could here. As for this match, this one's, kind of tough to call. Lyra's been holding on to that women's IC title for a little while now. She's the very first women's IC title holder, and she's earned her place in the spotlight. But Becky Lynch, she's a seasoned vet, a proven track record. And this could be the start of a rivalry that I see Becky winning the title and then Lyra chasing it all the way through SummerSlam. So expect this one to heat up as the stakes get higher and higher. Will Lyra hold on to her title, or will Becky reclaim her spot at the top of the women's division? We'll see this weekend. You've heard my thoughts. I'd love to know yours now. Do you think that Lyra retains at Backlash this Saturday on Peacock in the U.S. or on Netflix outside of the U.S.? Drop a comment on this video. You know what to do. Love to chat back and forth with you there, or on Instagram. If you're not watching on YouTube right now and you're listening to the podcast this week, jump over to Instagram to WrestleChat Podcast and drop your comment there. All right. Don't forget to tweet along with me during Backlash on Saturday. You can follow me at the AntMan. You can follow the show at WrestleChat Pod. No podcast, just pod. WrestleChat Pod. Both of those on X. Very active all through the show, and excited to do that with you this weekend. All right, we've got one more match. Finally, we've got the undisputed WWE Championship match between John Cena and Randy Orton. Man, this rivalry goes back well over 2 decades, with both guys having clashed in some of WWE's, most high-stakes matches. We got Hell in a Cell, TLC, I Quit matches, and there's been some really good ones. Between now and then, it might be fun to go back and watch some of those. So yeah, there's a lot of history here between John Cena and Randy Orton, and it adds some serious intensity to this matchup this weekend at Backlash. Cena, fresh off his win against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, he's defending his record-breaking 17th world title against none other than the Viper, Randy Orton. Orton made his intentions very clear on the first Raw after WrestleMania. He was lurking in the shadows, ended up hitting Cena with the RKO and setting the stage for this showdown in Orton's hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. This crowd's going to be absolutely on fire for this match, and predictably on the side of the Viper. I can't wait to hear that eruption when he walks out. I hear voices in my head, and the crowd goes wild. Well, this isn't just about the title. It's also about legacy. John Cena is trying to cement his place as one of the greatest of all time. They're already calling him the GOAT, right? Orton's looking to prove he's still got what it takes, and he's going to be around, presumably, after December. John Cena, not so much. The question is, can Cena overcome the Viper's tactics? Because, Cena might be a quote-unquote good guy or a baby face right now, but that doesn't mean he's not afraid to bend the rules, should we say. Orton's got deep-rooted hatred for John Cena. He's not afraid to use an opening, or any opening that he can. But Cena's resilience and determination to leave a lasting legacy might just be enough to carry him through this match. I don't know. This is a huge one, and it could mark a turning point in John Cena's career, perhaps one of his last chances to solidify his status as the quote-unquote GOAT. In the end, John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash, about to be more than just a title defense. That is for sure. I'm excited about this one. It's the culmination of, years of history of personal vendettas and the pursuit of legacy. Really, for both of these guys. This one's going to be filled with drama. It's going to have a lot of emotion and the kind of intensity that only Cena and Orton can bring. I mean, these guys, they've done it before. And we've had some time off between these two. I think they just pick up where they left off. Trust me, you don't want to miss this match. Now, if you ask me right now, do I think that Randy Orton is going to end that 17th reign as the world champion for John Cena, that record-breaking 17th reign? I would say no. This is the one that I think is going to have, it's going to have something big happen in it. Does this mean The Rock gets involved? Does this mean that Cody comes back and throws his 2 cents in, does something in the match? Is it somebody else getting involved? Is it, I mean, we've talked about pretty much on every PLE, could this be the return of Brock Lesnar? Who knows, man? Who knows what's going to happen? I just don't think this is one where we see John Cena leave without the title. I don't think a record-breaking 17th run with the title ends 3 weeks after it starts, especially the build that they made going into him winning that 17th title. I just don't think it ends here at Backlash. And if you go with history of WWE in performers in superstars' hometowns, they don't typically fare too well. So if that tells you anything about what could happen to Randy Orton, I'm excited for this one and cannot wait to see, because even if it's just simply a normal, no frills, nobody gets involved match, it's Randy Orton and John Cena. It's going to be an incredible match. So excited about it this weekend. Hope you are too. And would love to know what you think about some of my predictions. I want to know what you are thinking about who's going to walk away with titles or who's going to walk away with victories in these matches as well. So drop your comment. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, if you haven't hit subscribe yet, go ahead and do that while you're there as well. If you're listening right now, you can find a post about this podcast on our Instagram at WrestleChat Podcast. Chime in there with your thoughts as well. I think Michael will be back with us next week, and so he and I will chat and invite you along as well. And I hope you enjoyed today. If you did, wherever you're watching, wherever you are listening, hit subscribe, whatever you can do to share it with a friend as well. Much appreciated. I'm the AntMan. See you next week here on the WrestleChat Podcast.